Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RSC EU Season 8, Week 7. This is our second matchup of the night. We've just seen Fearless Echo take down Yoruba and Minor, but now it is time for the Premier Tier. It is Knull versus an unbeaten LUNA Esports. It's going to be a massive matchup, as all Premier matchups are, and with me for it once more is Senji. How are you feeling about this one?
Hello, everyone. Well, I am looking very much forward to it because this is my first Premier cast. I hope it's going to be a wonderful game with two wonderful teams. And yes, LUNA Esports may have not been beaten so far, but maybe we're gonna see an upset.
Could be the case. Knull, not one to shy away from upsets, of course, getting that really big 3-1 win over Vibe and their only loss of the season so far. And, LUNA Esports, they've had 2 forfeits in the last 3 weeks, so they haven't played an RSC in 3 weeks. And, maybe they've got a little bit of a dry patch now because they've got no momentum to build off of. I mean, 2/3 of this roster did make day 2 in RLCS, so, that's certainly another way to get some practice for RSC, but who knows? Maybe this is a completely different matchup and Knull are going to wipe them here. But we'll go into the team stats and see how these teams will match up.
Absolutely. And as we can see here, LUNA Esports are towering high above this Knull side, at least in the standings, being second and Knull just being in 7th. And the even bigger difference comes in the 19 wins to 11 wins. But as we've heard before, 8 of those 19 wins for LUNA Esports were forfeited wins. So technically both teams have won the exact same amount in the RSC as the other one. And I gotta say, even though LUNA had a few games not actually being played, they nearly tie in goals for and the shooting percentage. So what can you tell me about the rest here?
Just shows how good LUNA have been when they've had to play. They're still unbeaten even with those 3 forfeits. So the other 4 matches they've had to play and either win or draw, and you can see it from those goals for. And those saves, they're plenty high. But going into the player stats, we'll see who's here to shine tonight. And CB, the only man coming in here tonight with a higher than 1 goal a game ratio. It's tough enough in the rest of RSC, but Premier Tier, it's just that step above, that bubble level of European Rocket League. And if he's getting more than 1 goal a game there, then how are Knull ever going to deal with him tonight?
They will have to look out for him especially, but not just CB is very strong offensively, but also his teammates Acidic and Gek, being both on 13 goals in 16 games. If I could do quick maths, I could tell you exactly what percentage that is, but I cannot. So in the end, it's still a very strong offensive side here by LUNA Esports. In just 16 games, everybody is very close with each other. They seem to work very well as a team, and I think the most dangerous is going to be Gek with his passing abilities, having nearly 1 save per game. Really shows that he likes to assist his teammates.
Yeah, can't count out Knull just yet, though. They've got plenty of goals to their name as they've spread them around a bit more equally. IPA 17, Kizzy 16, still very dangerous, and IPA 43 saves as well, so despite maybe that little bit lower 27 shooting percent, all the shooting percents in Premier are lower because the defense is just so much stronger than the rest of the league. And 27 is not even that bad, especially when you've still got 17 goals. It's not easy to do that whatsoever.
Definitely, and it makes Kizzy stand out just a little bit more with him being the only one in this lobby that so far in the RSC has managed to get at least 30% shooting accuracy, which, as you've said, in this high defensive class overall of these players really shows how good his offensive prowess is.
Nevertheless, we will get started with Game 1 here. 10 seconds in. We're yet to see a goal just yet, but LUNA Esports on the attack. They want to keep up their unbeaten stature, and no, not going to be they're not going to be an easy nut to crack, but I'm sure LUNA have plenty of ways to get through a team like Knull that have sprung upsets so far in this season. LUNA having to defend from them at the moment as Gek will bring it out very nicely. Brit 50 off of Gek, has it in the middle for Acidic, but Lido up nice and early to count that one out. Kizzy has missed this one, means Lido is on his own on the goal line. Very awkward to get that save, but he will do so And now Kizzy left to bring it forward further. CB right on top of him. Looks for the top corner, but can't quite find it. And Knull will clear it out.
Absolutely, we can see a very strong starting pressure here by LUNA Esports. We really want to get this first goal and already show, boys, we got this, we are going the way we want to. But Knull's defensive abilities have shown so far to be capable enough to hold this first attack. As LUNA now in defense needs to clear it away. Gek trying to get it past far away, and the Acidic then finally doing so. Kizzy though being able to keep the ball off his own line, but can't quite clear it out as LUNA is really getting up that field. Acidic going with a stealing shot, nearly made it, but couldn't quite reach it. And as far as I can tell, our good friend Bormaniton has left the lobby and Discord. He seems to have lost connection. Acidic going in with the double tap and getting it. What a beautiful goal to start the score line off for LUNA Esports. And the question asks, what can you do there as a defender? Obviously having such a high level of gameplay, people will need to defend many good attacks, but the best defense is a good offense, as we all know. And right off the kickoff, Kizzy comes out and takes one back, tying up this game straight after the insane goal of Gek. 3 minutes left and the game is tied. We're basically starting from anew with both teams having learned a little bit about each other. Obviously it's the first and only time they will meet in league play, and so far they're trying to show us the best that Rocket League has to offer, as Kizzy tries to center it for his teammates, but Acidic drives it away. Lato keeps it in the offensive quarter, and CB finally gets a little bit more of breathing clear so his team can resort itself for the next attack that came through by Kizzy. And now we see Knull with a little bit of force, a little bit of a pressure phase up front, but Acidic able to take on the ball, gets answered by Apa, who now tries to continue the attack by Knull to get that first time leading versus LUNA Esports. Well, both teams kind of medal it out in the middle. A great pass here in between the teams to get back into the game. And Kizzy gets a shot, but CB able to clear it on top of the line. And Knull in about the last minute has shown a very good offensive pressure by them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they take the lead. And with that, I can welcome back our good friend Bormaniton. Or I cannot. I'm sorry, I thought he was in the Discord call, but Lato has a little bit of time to breathe and get this ball, but he immediately booms it over to Acidic into his offense, and they can't quite profit off from it. CB now trying to get a counter attack going and get that lead back for LUNA, but Kizzy interrupts it, gets a shot on target. Acidic though, no problem to clear this away, but immediately it gets answered again. Later puts it mid for Kizzy. Kizzy doesn't quite reach the ball and Gek takes it away for now. But then again, there is Ipa, and this pressure phase from Knull that started in about minute 3 has been going on, and at this point I would say they would deserve a goal, but even though they maybe would deserve one, LUNA make one, and at the end of the day, that is what matters. Acidic getting a beautiful pass there and just slotting it in, seeing the net is open, doesn't need to do anything fancy to get this lead back. 50 seconds before this game is over. The question now becomes, is Knull able to get back in here and tie the game up again? They weren't able to convert the kickoff into another goal, and CB tries to attack the back lines again, but Apa able to clear it away and doesn't get too far as Acidic there. Gek with a little bit of a redirect pass onto the backboard. It's answered by Kizzy, who now goes for a low 50, is able to win it, but doesn't have any follow-up or boost to manage the situation himself. As sitting now gets another shot. Kizzy with a close save. CB has another shot. Aper with the squishy save. And now they have one last attack, probably. And Lado puts it on target, but Gek saves it. Kizzy tries to keep the ball alive. Does so effectively with Acidic taken away. And now both of the Knull players have just left the ball. And therefore LUNA Esports get their first victory. And I gotta say, it's been a great game. Knull had much of the possession, as we can see here in the field domination, 55%. But in the end, 10 shots coming out from LUNA Esports, able to convert 2 into goals, gives them that first victory. And Monk, are you back?
Am I?
Who knows? We'll find out.
My laptop completely unresponsive. But I can see the game, and apparently you can hear me, despite me not being able to see that you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, very close from Knull at the end there. So close to getting the equalizer in 0 seconds, and, you know, bringing us to that majestic OT, but LUNA, nevertheless, will close it out and start off this series with a bang.
Definitely. And before the match, Brahmanitin has told me that Knull has been the only team so far in Premier that hasn't drawn a single game yet. With LUNA going the fast way, I think they would be happy if they were to achieve that today and get a draw versus this very strong LUNA side.
It definitely would be. Still plenty of time left in the series to make that happen. As we get ourselves into game number 2, they'll need a response and they'll need it fast, as LUNA are a very strong team, and any opportunity Knull does get, they're going to have to finish with flair.
They will have to, as Acidic able to get a good pass over to Gag. CB passes it over to Acidic, and wow, what a great start here by LUNA Esports. One touch by Gag, one touch by CB, one touch by Acidic, and it's 1-0 LUNA.
Their speed on the night is just on another level. Knull powerless to stop any of that play coming through and coming to fruition, as it just perfectly finds its way into the back of the net. And it's so tough for Knull because they're a great team, they've had good results, but when Knull are coming at you like this, they're the hardest team in the tier to stop, and Knull have pretty much failed to find a way to do so far.
Absolutely. In the first game, they've had a lot of possession, a lot of offensive pressure on this LUNA side, but weren't quite able to convert that into good chances and then goals. So I'm gonna be very interested in how they're going to attack this game, if the gameplay changes, or if they're able to just keep on that pressure play and this time finally get some goals out of it.
Ivanov picks it up, has Kizzy waiting. Great shot from him, but Gek will get back for it and get a great save. Cannot find his way past later though, as he gets demoed out. CB instead taking it up the ceiling and looking for the touch. Acidic takes it next as Kizzy will block him out, looking for a double, but Gek once again the man to save them, and Acidic now will demo Ipa to bring all of that pressure off of this LUNA defense, and they will have time to push forward once more. Gek has CB waiting on that left-hand side, but Ipa cuts it out brilliantly. Doesn't give them any chance to react, but none of his teammates were waiting for the centre ball. Means that LUNA can attack once more. CB picks it up in the midfield. Acidic up next, looks for the double off the sidewall, but too fast for him now. 50. Pretty neutral in the middle, but CB's the first to react. Gets a demo as well. Acidic approaching. Acidic with the shot. Ipa with the save.
Yeah, and CB nearly was able to bump Ipa out of the way as well. Great extension plays there shown by him. Trying to not just get under the skin with shots and great passing plays, but also get under the skin of the defense with great demo or in the way being plays. And this time it goes the other way around as Apa takes it over to Kizzy, who just passes it right back. Great passing play again, and this game is tied.
Great stuff from Ipa to get the equalizer halfway through. Means that this is still a plenty interesting game. Can go either way, and Knull can keep on pushing to get their first game win against Knull here, but once again having to defend as they have done so much throughout this series, and so tough for them. But they're back on the offense at the moment. Ipa has a shot, it's off the crossbar. Lado tries to get a 50 into the middle, but TB gets it clear. Kizzy's touch is not great. Will actually set up Ipa though instead. He's met by Acidic in the Luna box, and they now get it clear once more. Ipa, great demo on CB on the rotation backwards. Means that Lado can get a good 50 off of Acidic, but doesn't go very far as Acidic is searching for that backwards touch. CB may be looking for a flip reset. Knull will deal with it somehow, still having to defend though, as Acidic will get the waterfall down in the middle. Ipa somehow reads it and gets the follow-up touch to get it clear. Is anyone here for Luna to put it through? No, Lado will get the block, and surely they'll get it clear now.
Definitely, as Kizzy now tries to go for shot but misses the ball completely, allowing Luna to get a little bit of air to breathe a little bit and get out into the offense themselves. DB now trying to center it but gets met by Ipa, who tries to push up, is not on much boost and loses the 50. And the ball over at Acidic, passes it mid into Gek, who gets it just a little bit wide as Lado now moves it up for Knull. And again, both teams kind of in the middle, but Ipa going with a shot here, no problem for CB in the defense. Lido takes over, passes it on to the wall. Kizzy doesn't get an initial touch, but can follow it up and gets met by CB, who just mashes it into the other side of the field, gets a bump on Ipa, and what a great play here by CB, getting the pass mid and the crucial bump on the goalkeeper.
And ever since Knull opened right up, Luna have had to be awake to Knull's chances coming forward, and they do what they needed to do. They open up their own chances, and then that is just fantastic from CB to make that opportunity so easy for his teammates to finish off Gek with that goal. And now they lead once more, 2-1 going into the final 40 seconds in Knull. They've had so many good chances, they've had that one equaliser, but Luna keep on coming up with the answers, and all they need to do is hold out for another 30 seconds.
They do, and that's what they've been able to do in the first game, and we might see the repeat of that here, but definitely Knull isn't gonna give up. They're gonna push those last 20 seconds down the line. They're gonna try to equalize and force an overtime in this game. But in the meantime, Gek tries to go over the backboard with a double tap down, but that gets stopped immediately as Acidic puts it mid via Kizzy, but Lado's there to push it up the field, and the seconds are running down, and they're running in favor of Luna Esports. The last second has been dropped, and let's see if this keeping up the ball is gonna be enough. It is not. Luna Esports take game 2 again in a 2-1 fashion, and I gotta say, they do play their game very strong. They stay back and make sure nothing hurts them too much. And they are efficient in offense. One thing they haven't been in the first game with a 20% shooting accuracy, but this time they've crammed it up to 50% in total. 4 shots, 2 goals, really taking home this game number 2. Knull, on the other hand, they try, and they have again 9 shots on the other net, but can't convert more than 1. And Barmanitan again has left and rejoined, but still isn't speaking. And I gotta say, if we look at, for example, something like the demos, both teams have equalized in that they're very close to each other. What Knull is lacking in comparison to Luna Esports, and what we see, is the efficiency in offense. Both teams have a very strong defense. You could argue Luna Esports a little bit the better one, as Knull isn't able to convert their goals as efficient as Luna is. But we are headed into game number 3, and we'll see who is gonna reign on top of this one. Is Luna Esports gonna secure the victory, or is Knull gonna leave open the chance for a draw? Stay tuned to find out as Kizzy goes for a first air dribble, and CP immediately takes the ball away into the other corner, gets the demo on Lido, but not quite able to do something for his team. Kizzy takes on that ball and moves the field up, puts it mid for his teammates, but CB with a fake takes out Ipa a little bit. As Kizzy now tries to bring it back up. Acidic going in and gets it up to Lido. Acidic back on the ball, gets met by Ipa, who pushes it upfield. Kizzy able to get it mid, but not quite, as Acidic, as last man back in the net, was able to prevent anything from going mid, whereas the teammate of Kizzy would have stood and would have definitely converted that chance. And Lido now taking over control of the ball, moving upfield. His teammate Ipa helping him out, but CP staying strong as third man and takes it away, as Kizzy now with an air dribble gets met by Acidic. Ipa now trying to bring it back in mid for his teammates. Lido seeing it wouldn't have mattered if he went for it, as his opponent was faster to the ball. Kizzy moving it upfield, but only finds Acidic, who drops it down for his teammates, but ultimately lands in the hands of Knull, who go for their next attack. Good pass here from Ipa to Kizzy. Kizzy though just drops it shortly above the crossbar. Lido going in, and Ipa realizes he doesn't need to go up. Gag passes it over to Kizzy, and he doesn't need two more of these chances. He just says thank you very much and converts for the first lead of Knull so far in this series.
And as I am having a nightmare with my technical difficulties, Knull will be hoping that their nightmare is finally over, as they do indeed get their first lead, as you say. 2 minutes into this game number 3, and they're looking a little bit better, but already having to defend once more. LUNA are relentless in their punishment. They always want to get more goals, and they're looking to get the equalizer right off the bat.
Exactly, as Ipa tries to get it upfield and Gek interrupts him. Kizzy now getting this ball up front. Lido takes it on, gets it maybe to his teammate. No, Gek is there and takes control of it. Only has one opponent in front of him. Ipa misses the ball, but so does Gek with the net. That was wide open for him, and I think he is gonna beat himself up for that one. That definitely should have been converted for LUNA Esports.
And now you feel that Knull could really come into this one. They see LUNA missing chances like that where normally they wouldn't miss. It was a tough angle for Gek. But tough angles are just the sort of thing that Gek does in the Premier Tier. He's so good. No way. Oh, he's missed it again. It's a crazy attempt at a double. But somehow doesn't find the back of the net. It just bounces straight back up. And no, the door is wide open now for you. LUNA keep on squandering chances at empty nets that they should be scoring. But this one they do score. Gek amends his 2 previous misses, gets them the equalizer, and it felt like Knull maybe had it going for them. No, LUNA shut down that idea. They are really in this series. They want to get the full 4-0 sweep, and it looked like that is still in the cards.
What I gotta say, Gek really proves what the hardest shot in Rocket League is, with that being the open net. He's now had 2 wide open nets, wasn't able to convert them, and then he has one with 2 defenders in net, and makes it look as easy as just touching a ball when you just start the game for the first time.
Looking for a second. CB is there. Still on target. No, not quite. Lido gets it out into the middle, but it's exactly where he didn't want the ball to go, because Acidic is ready to pounce, lurking in the middle of the box to score any loose balls. He does just that as he gets LUNA straight back into the lead, and they are looking so deadly up against Knull all throughout the series, but especially right now.
Absolutely, and especially after that great chance missing fiesta we've had earlier in this game. I didn't think LUNA would be able to convert this game into a lead so fast as they did it, with Knull getting a little bit of confidence from all those missed chances, but they've turned it around and they said, we don't like not hitting goals, we want score, and they proceeded on doing so. But now Ipa and Lido on the opposing side trying to get something back and equalize this game up again, but Gek clears it out the way, gets over the last defender. Can Lido be back in time? Yes, he can. But Gek still on the ball. Great pass down to Acidic, and what can you say? It's 3-1 LUNA.
And Acidic just pinpoint with the shots for these last 2 LUNA goals. It takes such guile to have had such difficulty scoring in the first half of the game, and now to have scored 3 and all such confident goals. They have such flair with their play. Anything that they touch seems to turns to goals now. And Knull are really facing the pressure with only 45 seconds left to score 2. It's a very tall order in any matchup, but especially against LUNA, this unbeaten Premier side, the tippity top of RSC, and they're proving that they can do it against any team they come up against.
They do prove that, and we have wondered on the RS cast if having 2 weeks of getting only forfeit wins is gonna hinder their ability to play as a team, and I can say you, it is definitely not. They've come here and they've really shown that they're capable of great team plays, and they have themselves ordered. But IPA, in the meantime, trying to get 1 goal back, but just hits the post. Now LUNA with the last attack, maybe IPA pushes it up the field, but Acidic gets it away, looking for a last attack himself, but drops it onto the floor. And LUNA Esports take the victory in this series with getting the 3rd win. Now the question becomes, are we gonna see a sweep, or are we gonna see just the 3-1?
And it is so tough to close out sweeps in Premier, as it is in any tier, but I've seen it quite a few times now where a team like LUNA just storms into that 3-game victory, and that is the series win in the bag. But in RSC, every game matters. Every game is an equal amount of points to the next, so they need to keep switched on and they need to keep up attacking, because Knull, they've shown their quality throughout the series and throughout the season, beating teams like Vibin and other teams that people were really not backing them to beat. They can get a game here. It'll still be as important as any other, because every game matters. The mid-table is so close in Premier, and I believe it would equalise them in the table with a couple other teams surrounding them. They really want this. They can do it, but LUNA Esports, they're tough every game, I believe. And Knull, it's not going to be easy for them whatsoever.
Yeah, and with those 3 wins, they also give out a fighting message to Vibing, being only 1 game behind them with 4 games less played before this series, means they are going to move into the 1st position in Premier and really show, hey boys, we're here to win this, all of it. And I think that really shows how strong this LUNA side is overall.
Certainly is, but if Knull can get a game victory in game number 4 here, they will tie it up with Finale, and they'll only be 1 behind Warlocks and Oreos in 4th and 5th. You know, those last 2 spots in 5th and 6th, they're so important. They are your last chance tickets into the playoffs, into that lower bracket, but that 4th spot is still very much up for grabs, and Vulcan are already another 2 wins past that, so everything to play for in this matchup, and in the last 2 weeks of Premier, Knull need to keep on going. They need to keep their heads up, because they know the teams around them could also falter. Even they could beat them themselves. And, you know, LUNA, they are the ultimate chance to prove your worth and that you are a team that can do well in tough matchups. But Lado, he's absolutely whiffed this ball. Acidic gets it on target, and that was all he needed to do. Is already it's 1-0 for LUNA Esports.
I gotta say, Lado has had a relatively bad evening so far. He's been on 1 game nearly on 100 points in total, and doesn't look good here, but on the other end, iPod nearly misses out because he got bumped into it by an opponent and only hits the crossbar.
No
and
way.
On the other side, just on a straight counterattack, Acidic goes up the wall, hits it on target, and it was enough. That's all you're gonna do. Put ball in net, and you're leading. 2-0 for LUNA.
So true that we saw in the last game how pinpoint Acidic can be just from the edge of the box, where the shots you're expecting him to hit. But even there, he somehow knows that Knull have left no one back post. They've completely underestimated his ability. And he gets the crazy angle, and when Knull just can't seem to get in the back of the net and keep hitting the post, if Acidic can keep up with those crazy shots, it seems hopeless for Knull.
It does seem that way, as Ipa really brings in mid here for Kissy that just doesn't want to convert, as Kek was just standing there strong as ever, making sure nothing happens. But now Kek putting in mid for a teammate that was way too late. Kissy moving it up the field again into the corner of LUNA Esports. Ipa meeting him mid-air, but can't get anything out of it. Lido puts it into Kek, who tries to put it into CB, but Kissy again being that strong man from Knull keeps them somewhat in this game.
Yeah, it seemed like LUNA have been dominating for an age in this game, but in fact it's only been 2 minutes, so Knull, if they keep on defending like this, they leave that door open, of course, but that door is very, very slightly open, you know, it's just a tad ajar for them, so they'll need to work very hard in this remaining 3 minutes of this series if they are to take a single game victory and prevent the 4-0 sweep, because at the moment LUNA just on the offense once more, keeping this ball firmly in the Knull half. CB looking for the ball off of the wall, trying to get that rebound on target, but Knull will clear it out very cleverly and take some possession in the midfield. Now just shut down by CB. He doesn't want them having any possession. Ipa tries to bring it out, but Acidic is waiting for it. He instead chooses to leave it for Gek. He gets a dunk on Kizzy. Later will have to track back and pick it up. Kizzy and Ipa looking to try and take the same ball. Kizzy is the one to touch it. Can only find CB on the left-hand side of the net. Gek now the one with the ball. Does he have the next touch? He does. He has several more touches with 0 boost, though. Kizzy can demo him out. Acidic is waiting right behind him, though. He gets it into the middle. CB is there to slot it home. 3-0 LUNA Esports.
And I think this is going to settle it, even though there's 2 minutes left, but just from the performance we've seen so far in this series, and especially in this game, LUNA Esports are not joking around. They want to extend their lead in the table as far as possible over Vibing. Want to make sure they're gonna stay in that first position as long and as far away as possible. But Gek, how did that ball not find the end of the net? I did not quite see it in this camera angle, but CP pressures it up again and puts it on target. And there was just no defender at all from Knull trying to help out Ipa here with the 50.
No, just trying to throw everything at them in the last 2 minutes. It seems like it's a long time, but you know that how much work it takes to build up a goal against LUNA, so you've got to keep it going right from the start of this terrible situation they find themselves in, and it just opens up too many gaps for LUNA to capitalise on. They do so immediately, and 4 goals to the good with less than 2 minutes left will indeed be the 4-0 sweep for LUNA. They've been so good throughout this season. They're not slowing down in this game or in the season. And it's just the question now, can any team beat them? Are they just this unbeatable team? The one team you maybe suspect is Vibin, but they drew with each other all the way back in week 2, and if that turns out to be the final, we'll get that game 5 we didn't get to see in week 2, and that could be the really big matchup in Premier at the very end where it matters most.
I think the way Premier is heading, that is going to be what we would expect to be the final. Because both teams really look strong. Both teams seem nearly invulnerable for other teams. But, as you said, they drew together, and therefore I wouldn't want to predict who is going to win that potential grand finale yet. But what I would predict is that Knull won't be featured in that grand finale because LUNA Esports and Vibing just looking a little bit too strong for the competition.
Yeah, LUNA completely dismantling Knull in this series. Because Knull have had a chances going forward, and time again, LUNA just read them like a book, get textbook saves, clear it out from defense and go on the attack once more. 4 goals from those sorts of situations in this game, and it is just that it feels inevitable now that we get LUNA versus Vibin. We saw today in RLCS Vibin go all the way to game 5 in the close qualifier. This is the sort of teams we're talking about here. They're so close to qualifying for LCS, and LUNA not far behind them. That's going to be a great matchup, but tonight, on this night, LUNA will get the 4-0 sweep against Knull. It's a tough pill to swallow once again for the losing team, but you can't complain about it because LUNA were just far and away the better team.
Oh, they definitely were. They were reading the opponents very well, and they were able to profit from basically every mistake, apart from game 3 where Gek had about 2 open nets missed. But apart from that, LUNA has really shown what to do. And who would you interview from this side?
I mean, I think in Premier it's a case of if anyone's willing to interview. We haven't had too many this season because, these players are very busy. So I'd be happy with just about anyone if Sauce can get someone in the background.
We'll see if we can get anyone. But on another note, I think on the side of Knull, something I kind of seen tonight is that Lado doesn't seem to fit too well in this team. As far as I know, Kissy has built this team. He's gotten from Archeon all that he wanted. And kind of Lado stood out a little bit as the one that wasn't quite involved with team plays as Kissy and
Ipa.
my bad. Yeah, my IPA
Ipa.
were overall.
Yeah, maybe the Swedes struggling to settle in. I mean, it's been 7 weeks now. You'd hope they've found some sort of rhythm now, and you could argue that they have found that in some games against teams like Warlocks, against teams like Vibe, and unfortunately, Luna was not one of those teams, and they'll fall to their feet tonight to just a dominant Luna esports side.
Absolutely, and we have actually managed to get one of the Luna esports players into our booth. How's it going, Gek?
Yeah, it's going good. Easy sweep.
From that, I take you are very happy with the win.
Of course, still number one. Easy forfeits as well from the last 2 weeks. Lovely.
Wonderful. But on that note, I kind of want to ask what happened in Game 3? Where are those open nets going?
I don't know. I think with the open nets, you just have to ask Acidic, because I think I scored every open net except a couple.
Yes, I would agree on that. Especially in Game 2 when you were down 1-0, there were two very easy open nets, if I may say so, that just got completely whiffed.
Happens.
For lack of better words. But yeah, you've cleared it up and made sure to score a few more to make sure you would win it. So congratulations on that. Monk, you got any questions?
Yeah, I'll throw a couple, just... What were you making of Knull coming into this one? They've beaten teams like Vibe and where you've previously drawn with, so they've certainly proved they can get the results, but, how did you just dismantle them so perfectly tonight?
I think we played really well. Our passing plays were on point today. I think Acidic was really playing out of his mind this series. So that really helped, because we literally clapped them with every passing play, every 50-50. We just won it. We were faster. And I think that just takes the cake, to be fair. We were just a bit faster.
You certainly were, and yeah, it seemed in some games it was fine margins, in others it just seemed like you had everything going for you. But I'll go in the other direction now and say, what are you feeling into this last 2 weeks and into those playoffs? How do you rate your chances? I mean, Vibe, or sometimes known as Wild Noise, they got picked up, well done to them, but they've gone 2-3 in our LCS calls today. You drew with them in week 2. What you think it's going to come down to that, or are there any other teams you're worried about in playoffs?
I think there are going to be two really good teams. Vibe, of course, they are really, really good. And the team that Rexo is playing in right now, I don't know the team name.
Flame, I think it is.
Yeah, Flame. If they make playoffs, I think they would be really, really dangerous as well. So yeah, those two teams.
Yeah, very good teams in Premier. Of course, the rest not to be underestimated, but maybe these three teams just a class above. So thank you, Gek, for coming in. Well done on that incredible 4-0 sweep over Knull. But we're not done just yet for the night. We have one more matchup coming up in the Elite Tier in the Glaciers Conference. It will be Senji's team Hades against Inferno. It's going to be a great matchup. Thank you for joining us so far, but do not go anywhere because we're back in just a few.
See you.
Yo, see you.